and welcome to this special episode, I guess, of Newysports TV. There's no real plan this week. This video wasn't originally scheduled, but I thought I'd better do this because the weekend, it was a busy weekend all in all. As you can see, I've been out to Redman to watch Westlakes play Toronto, and thanks Westlakes for the shirt. Very good day out there despite the weather. And yesterday, South Cardiff versus Fortin on a very poor, very small size field, and the less said about the football the better, because it was all about the F3 derby yesterday. Nonetheless, there's a few things I need to go over. This is going to be a very short episode. The first thing being is that we spoke to both Westlakes and Toronto, Nathan White from Westlakes and the captain there, David McWilliam, and of course Danny Williams from Toronto, as well as one other player I can't remember off the top of my head, but nonetheless we did get a couple interviews in. I still haven't had much of a chance to see how they panned out. It was raining, it was loud, it was rushed, and I don't know, I'm going to chuck those into this video, and I'm going to chuck a South Cardiff interview into this as well, because there's not enough to make separate videos, so they're all going to be chucked in here. So with that in mind, I'm going to chuck over to myself, and these are the interviews from Saturday at Westlakes. I'm here with Redman from Toronto, the Wombat FC, the new goalkeeper here. First of all, how's it feel to be getting a win today in the game against Westlakes?
Yeah, no, it's good to start the season strong. Another game under our belt. Got the win today, so it's good for the boys.
Yeah. You yourself captain football this year, but you've got a lot of experience. Is it good to see this team sort of building towards the season in UAN?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow build up through pre-season, but we're starting to get the ball rolling now, and hopefully the boys can keep kicking on and move forward the season.
Yeah, there's a real desire here. Obviously, you haven't been here, but a lot of the guys have experienced tough results over the last few years, and there's a desire to change that and take this club forward.
Yeah, definitely. There's been big changes. New coach, new players are coming in as well. Looking forward to the 2017 season and hopefully make the semi-finals. Yeah, it's good to have a lot of young, exciting players come through the ranks and just push the depth, and obviously the backup goalie took over in the second half, did alright. Yeah, the young semi, he's quite quick between the sticks, especially as a backup keeper, so he'll be pushing me from the spot. But yeah, the rest of the boys, they're looking pretty strong out on the field, and it'll be hard to beat, I reckon. Yeah, is there a bit of a good feeling flying under the radar, I guess, compared to some of the other new ones who are recruiting heavily and talking themselves up behind the scenes? Yeah, no, it's good to sort of fly under the radar. You don't have to worry about too many heavyweight titles or anything like that. And you just, you can keep under the radar and pinch points and get results, and by the end of the year, you'll be there at the end. Yeah, how's it been working with Adam Ratledge so far? I've known Ratledge for quite some time. It's been interesting, but had some good times, had some good laughs, and we had good times off the field and on the field and at home. We get pretty serious and do you want to drink? I'm here with David McWilliam, the captain of Westlake Wildcats. What does this day mean to this club?
Look, I didn't know John personally. Hearing what all the guys have to say about him, I mean, he's the kind of guy who wants clubs. He's the kind of guy that every club needs. I'm happy to put the day on for it.
Yeah. Is it good to be able to take on Toronto, obviously they're a divisions higher, this club pushed itself this year into a new league, and I guess it wasn't such a bad result today in the poor weather.
No, look, it was fairly average conditions, and I mean, I thought we played the ball around alright. We're obviously still early in the pre-season, so it's good to have a go around, and it's good to get started, but I mean, I thought it was a decent result.
Yeah, it's fair. It seems to be a pretty tight-knit club here. Is that the general feeling around the place?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're here to have fun, but at the same time we're here to be competitive. We want to push high. So it helps to have a tight knit group, helps to have a bit of chemistry, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Moving from Zone League 2 to Zone League 1, do you see that as a bit of a challenge this season?
Oh, no, I don't. I think, there's not too much between the two divisions, I don't think. There'll be a few tougher sides. Obviously, the 3 grades stretches things a bit, but I can't see any reason why we shouldn't be competitive.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to a big year in the Zone League competition and the FA Cup even?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can push the FA Cup a bit. Obviously, it's a fairly strong competition. We'll see what happens, but in general, I think it's going to be a good year for us.
Yeah. Thanks for chatting, mate.
Cheers, mate. All the best.
Alright, I'm here with Nathan White, formerly of Toronto, now of Westlakes, and Toronto's Danny Williams as well. So we're going to be doing a mixed club interview here. First of all, Nathan, what does this mean to you? You've been involved in this fixture for a few years, and it's a special fixture for both clubs.
Yeah, it's massive day. I knew John Beegwin about 6 years old, so 20 years. He's been passed away for 5 now, but yeah, I've known him my whole life. I used to have sleepovers at his house and everything. Coached for a year in juniors, and once moved up to the seniors as well at stage, and played over 35s at both clubs here. So it's a great day, great day.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit louder because of the rain here. Danny, how's your result today? Is it a good win?
I think it's a good result for the boys for sure. We've had a pretty lacklustre pre-season. We've missed out on games due to heat. So it's good to come today and play such a good match for a great young fella. And good.
Yeah, Nathan moving to Westlakes, is this a bit of a club on the rise? Is there a bright future here at Westlakes?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, they won promotion last year from Level 2 up to Zone League 1.
Yeah.
And that's Scottish goes first year at the club, and he's got big plans. So I want to go straight back up again this year. And I wouldn't have come here to watch the rain. He's the main reason I was in the water boys since we were little. He knows his stuff. He's one of the funniest blokes I've ever met as well.
Yeah.
So he made a very easy decision to come and play here. So yeah, very, very happy here, and yeah, we're going to be pushing the next couple of years.
Yeah. Back to you, Danny. The club, probably the team wants to move on from a couple of seasons down the bottom of the table. Is this a good start to what we're looking for this season?
I think it's a very good start. We've had a couple of changes in the club. We've got a new coach, right? He's come on, he's got some pretty strong ideas. I think he's doing well. He's pretty level-headed. I think new players come on board, and we're starting to gel, starting to knock the ball around really well. So that's going to be a good year for us.
Yeah. Back to you, Nathan. Is it good to see this club get promoted and look at pushing Zone League 1 this season?
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's had a whole restructure too. Morris back down, Morris back down. It's going to be a whole new comp. We played Wolverhampton last week, went on the board with those guys. So yes, it's good. We're a big table, push top 4, and who knows what, come semi-finals.
I think you should both agree that Toronto's got some good young players coming through the 19s team. They look pretty good today.
Yeah.
Is it good to see that pushing at the club and seeing guys like Connor Morgan play first grade side?
Yeah, definitely. I think part of the last year when I was at the club was promoting youth, and it's good to see the 19s team has really kicked on this year. And it's flowed through the grades. The reserve grade out there today was quite young, and a lot of young guys out there in first grade too, so it's good to see.
Yeah. Is there much of a difference from the UFM setup to a club like this? Is it? I guess it is a bit wild, but it's still a pretty passionate club.
Yeah, definitely. The thing here though, like we're trying to raise it to that standard. Everyone's very friendly. Like the boys are very tight knit. Welcome in with open arms, and Danny Wills as well has come over, and they're taking us both in, and the club is going places, and we're very happy to be a part of it. So.
Yeah, Danny, does the club look forward to pushing themselves against Cook Seal and Hydra in the first 2 games? It's a pretty tough start to the season.
Yeah, it's a tough start, but I think we've got the quality behind us to definitely give them a good run. So yeah, we'll be looking for 3 points the first couple of games for sure.
Yeah, it's good to catch up. Good luck for your season, and good luck in your season as well.
Thanks, mate.
Alright, thank you to those who did the interviews there at Westlakes. There's a little bit of Toronto are obviously in a hurry, so we'll have a chance to see more of Toronto this year. Not too much. We don't have too many games scheduled for the Stags, but nonetheless, and I think I should discuss it on video, the actual game. Toronto 19s, I think, the brightest looking team of that club. They certainly look better this year than previous years. They've just got to overcome that mentality of not winning games, and there's a lot of them there from the 17s, and they won a few games last year, so I think they'll be decent. It's going to be a very, very hard competition to make the top 4 in the under-19s comp, so we'll see what happens. But 6-0, let's not oversell it. They played, and I do have the shirt on, so I feel a bit bad for saying this. They played a 3rd grade Westlakes side that just wasn't up to it on the day. Nevo and Morris said a few weeks ago, once they play a legit in-season New FM 19s team, Cookshill and Kahibra are their first 2 opponents, and then West Walls End. So of all the teams in the 19s, Toronto probably have the hardest start to the season right there. As for the 23s, they won, but again, it's not a great team on paper, so I don't really know what to expect from the whole 23s comp. It's still very, very unclear what's going to happen. It's a very tough competition to predict because you simply don't know who's going to be dropped down, who's going to be promoted up to 1st grade. Really, it's a competition that I think should just be known as reserve grade, and I think it's the weakest competition of the 4 senior grades. The under 15s competition, I don't know how that's going to pan out, being the first year, and the depth of players, that's a whole different video. But under 23s has been, in the last 2 years, probably the least quality competition, but the players that do play there will not like me saying that, but I'm going to be completely honest. I've got to be completely honest. Obviously the NPL's got the 18s, the 20s and 1st grade. That's probably a system I prefer, or just get rid of the whole 23s and just call it reserve grade, like it really well should be called. Anyway, so the 23 is very hard to predict. Toronto, I don't know. And 1st grade, yes, they won, but they beat Westlakes Wildcats, who again I'm wearing the shirt, so again I feel bad for saying it. They're a zone League 1 team, so that's expected to happen. They were a zone League 2 last year as well, so it's good for Toronto, but there's still a lot of questions to be asked. That team on paper isn't up there with the others, but they've got some handy players there. And honestly, I was expecting the worst. I'm not going to lie, I expected them to lose, and they didn't, and they had to play some decent football at times, but there is a lot that needs to be worked on before round 1, and it's happening next week, next Saturday, next Sunday. Cookshill going to Toronto, that's going to be difficult, and then Kahibra go there. That's also going to be difficult. So Toronto, definitely, it's going to be interesting to see how they start the season. Not sure yet. We're going to be doing some previews next week. Anyway, enough of the negativity, because Toronto actually was good. The season launch on Saturday, good to see a packed room, a lot of photos, the new kits or jerseys or polos or whatever they were. It's good to see Toronto. I don't know, they obviously had to rush there. It's a little bit weird having the game then, but I think they tried to get moved. Anyway, enough of this crap. Let's move on to Sunday, and South Cardiff versus Fortin, Fortin versus South Cardiff. The less said about how this game was moved and cancelled and then moved, and all that was just confusing. Nonetheless, it was played, and it was played on a field that honestly just, the less said the better. Fortin, obviously, it's pre-season, teams do have to play on some crappy surfaces. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Harold Knight Oval is anything suitable for a game. There's some pretty embarrassing training fields out there. But anyway, that field yesterday, too small. The ball kept going over the fence. The pitch itself was pretty average, and the football, as a result, wasn't great. It's got to that time of pre-season where, after 7 or 8 weeks of watching games that really just mean nothing, I'm a bit over it, and I know a lot of the players are a little bit over it, but the season is a week and a half away, so that's a good thing. the Heritage Cup's on this week, which is actually competitive games, not ultra competitive games, but competitive games nonetheless. So that's an improvement. But yeah, yesterday it was all about the F3 derby. I just wanted to get out of Tanambit and go watch the Jets beat the Mariners, and they didn't, and the less said about that the better as well. So yeah, South Cardiff's interviews, it wasn't great, and I've messaged the club. I've let Dennis Fajkovic know, you know, I'm offering to go there to training and catch up with him and some of the players if they want. It's completely optional. I'm not going to complain. I don't care if, you know, obviously Toronto and South Cardiff at the moment are the only clubs that aren't going to have the whole, you know, 5 or 6 interviews. I was pretty disappointed with, you know, the Cookshill ones were a bit rushed and a bit, you know, obviously if you go and look at the Khyber videos, go and look at the Wolves End ones, they were a little bit better. Lino Gaddy's interview last week was absolutely probably the best work that's been done on this channel this season, and I'm looking forward to getting some more people in that chair right there. There's a lot of good football minds around, and even if I have to come to see them, obviously maybe they can't get here, but you know, I'd love to do some more of those sort of 20 to 30 minute interviews. What was I saying? South Cardiff. So I asked the players, and they weren't really keen, and that's fair enough. They're a pretty close knit sort of club. That I don't want to say they're quiet, but they're not exactly out there on social media like Bell Swans. You know, they're not trying to ask for interviews. They're not, you know, any of that. I don't know what I'm saying. This is completely unscripted, so it's probably going to be bad. But anyway, South Cardiff, it was a rush day, and I didn't have the time after the game to stay and chat. I was going to introduce myself to Dennis and his dad, the 23s coach as well, but I didn't really get a chance. But anyway, they'll be back. The South Cardiff will be featured. We'll have their games. Might not have any interviews, but anyway, Ethan Spiers, the young 19s player, he stepped up to do an interview, so that's the only one, and I'll send you that right now, and then I'll come back here and we'll talk about the game.
I'm here with Ethan Spiers from South Cardiff FC. First of all, just played under 23s game. How'd that go against Thornton Redbacks today?
It was really good. Pitch was a bit bumpy, but I mean, we created quite a few chances and, you know, promising signs for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. The differences so far from last year to this year, obviously the Fajkovic's have come in to take over the club, and I guess they're a different style to what Andrew Packer and some of the last season's coaches were doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a change, but you know, it's great to have those sorts of blokes around the club. It's really showing some promise, and the boys are getting some good football going. Yeah, knocking the ball around nicely, so looking good for the season.
Yeah, you yourself probably playing 19s this year as well, so how's that team coming together after a pretty decent season last year, almost got in the final at the end?
Yeah, we had a really good run towards the end of last season, looking to bring that through again this season.
Yeah.
We had a big squad, and we've cut a couple, but yeah, the squad's coming along really nicely.
Yeah. What will be the aims for this season in the 19s and further up, like 23s, first grade? You probably want to play a bit of final football at Southie this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, last year, our first year down was a bit of a tester.
Yeah.
I think we've now got the swing of it. We can really shake up some sides this season and finish high up on the table.
Yeah. Your dad's involved with the committee. Is there sort of an aim over the next 3 years to sort of look building back towards potentially getting back on the NPL?
Look, I'd assume so, but for us players, obviously the aim's on the pitch, and we'll let them sort their stuff out. And we'll just try to get the wins and do our part.
It's not the biggest club in the league, but it's a tight-knit group of people and pretty passionate community following there at South Cardiff.
Yeah, it's great having the boys up on the hill there, and yeah, like everyone's really close, and you can talk to everyone. Like I know, being a 19s player, you can go and talk to any of the first grade boys, and they'll help you out. And yeah, it's really nice having all training together and doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, are you looking forward to testing yourselves against Wolves End in round 1 in the Gallagher Shield?
Yeah, Wolves End's always a tough one. I mean, there were a few cards shown last season. There's definitely one in 17s and definitely one in 19s. Always a tough contest, and they play some good football, so it should be really interesting and a good way to put a benchmark on how we're going so far this season. So.
Yeah, final question, Eric. The club's sort of combining well. There's obviously been a bit of a turnover of players, high grade. Has that been a challenge so far?
Oh, I think it's been a challenge, but we've been going for a long time now with our pre-season. It's been the best part of a couple, 2-3 months, I guess. So everyone's gelling nicely, and yeah, it's all become one big cohesive unit.
Yeah, alright.
Awesome. Cheers. Thank you.
Let's get on with it. The game itself, the 23s, Southy I think are going to be decent in 23s again. Again, I say it's a very, very difficult comp to predict. It's probably the hardest comp to predict. So really, I'm not going to lie, I'm doing my ladder predictions next week, and I've already got first grade 19s pretty well solidified to where I think teams will finish and what teams I think won't make finals. But the 23s is just open slaver for everyone. Fortin just not. Oh, it was 2-2, but I think Southy played the better football. For Fortin, good to see Sam Hurney play a full game, or near enough a full game, and score a goal from the 19s team. Might even still be eligible for the 17s, I don't even know. But there's some decent young players there at Fortin. I think it's a strong point of the club. As for Southy in first grade, on paper a team that I thought, I didn't know what to expect, but it actually panned out to be not a bad performance, and a bit of a surprise to see Denis Fatkovic playing. I don't know if he's planning on doing that the whole season or if it was just for a pre-season only thing. He was decent, and they do have some players that are actually kind of good quality. Whether they'll make the 4 or not that's the big question. I don't know if they will, but mid-table, I think Southy will trouble some teams this year. They got a big one in round 1-2 at the Gardens, Wallsend versus South Cardiff, the Gallagher Shield. And anyway, I'm going to move on from all these reviews because this has just been, this video is probably as good as the interviews. It's been rushed, it's been not really thought out. But nonetheless, this week, today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday, Wednesday night is games at Fortin against Maitland, 19s and 23s for Fortin playing one of the Maitland Zone League teams, not sure which one. Westlakes playing at West Wallsend in the 19s and 23s for Westie, and that's about it. The Heritage Cup is this week, and that's something that I'll probably be doing a little bit of a video there for. I think that's going to be a decent tournament. Don't know how it's going to pan out. It's obviously the first year. It's a good idea. It's got Andy Harper's name alongside it. It'd be good to see Andy Harper at one of the games. That'd be a good image for local football. So some teams are getting a bit pumped up for that. The final week of the pre-season, thank God, because it's been a very, very long pre-season, and been around to every club, and it's been good, don't get me wrong, but you need competitive football. I need competitive football. It'll be back in a week and a half's time on March 11th. So that's pretty much it. We'll be back next Monday with a season preview. I'm thinking a live stream season preview as well, so we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure yet on the plans. The Zone League clubs, we're going to try and get around to more Zone League clubs as the season goes on. For now, I'm just going to try and take a day or two to just sort of regather my thoughts before a very, very, very busy season kicks off in a week and a half's time. So this has been episode, whatever number this is, of Newysports TV, probably 15 or thereabouts. Thank you to Westlakes again for the hospitality on Saturday. Toronto, Southy, Fort and the other teams, not really a weekend to write home about, but just good to see some football. You know, it's better than sitting around not seeing football. So good luck to those teams, the 8 teams in the Heritage Cup. And yeah, we will be back next week with another episode of Newysports TV. Although maybe not, maybe we'll be back with a season preview. We'll be back anyway. I'll see you later in the week or next week. Thank you for joining us.